Hello. So the last 3 videos I did was sort of like a weird book report. I don't want that to be my style. Ooh, I read a book. Ooh, this is what I thought. Ooh, I saw something. This is what I thought. There's a lot of that out there. My side work, my side gig, is trying to figure out the steps it will take to fix this world. And it started out with seeing the finished product. And since seeing the finished product and trying to blurt out nonsense that made sense to nobody but me, and even then barely, articulation of something like that is difficult. So I've tried to break it down and break it down and break it down, all the way down to its barest components, which was consciousness. If we want to fix this, we have to understand consciousness. I have given the definition of consciousness. The definition is an organic process, mimetically driven or fueled, leading to this amazing, unique, interior mindscape that we call us. And I've thought about mimetics most of my life. It's been around since the year I was born. And only recently it used to be, for a long time, I would talk about it and people would look at me like, fuck is a meme? But now everybody in the fucking world knows what a meme is, sort of. And I've talked a lot in my videos about, first, my declaration that Jesus was here for a purpose. That purpose was to introduce empathy into our consciousness. I took that, and then I got confirmation bias on this last 3 videos of a book report. From that book, I got some confirmation bias I had to work through. Okay, so let's say that this is true. Okay, that is how consciousness is defined. There is intelligent design behind that. The role, when Jesus says, I'm here about my Father's work, it is growing our consciousness. That is his Father's work. If by doing his Father's work, he introduces empathy, what I've been thinking about lately is what was necessary about sacrifice. What was the element that sacrifice added to our consciousness collectively? Then I'm talking the gory shit from the Old Testament. Blood sacrifices. And this isn't just in the regions described in the Bible. It's all across the world. They're throwing virgins into volcanoes, and it's everywhere. What was the function of that in our consciousness? What were the driving memes? What was the point of all of that bullshit? And from an atheistic faith perspective, all you have to do is say, well, it's obvious, isn't it? As our population grew, blood animal sacrifices and human sacrifices don't make any fucking sense anymore. Imagine our world today if that was still a cornerstone of faith for every believer. How gory that would, what would the markets look like in that world? So from an atheistic perspective, of course, we just evolved away from this thing. We finally grew out of it. But what if that's not the case? What if there was actually a point? There was something that we needed to learn to prepare ourselves for the work that Jesus did, introducing empathy. Something about all those thousands of years of animal sacrifices and all this bullshit was preparing us for that change. Something in us had to change. I think I know what it is, but it's so new to me that I haven't quite been able to check it all the way to the corners, you know? I think it's devotion, though. I think all of that bullshit is what we needed to go through to understand devotion, to prepare ourselves to learn empathy. And if you don't think that it's just a natural freaking cause and effect, that humans will do it the stupidest fucking way, the bloodiest, the most asinine way, we will do it. If intelligent design is pushing us a certain way, if it has a desired outcome, then there was a reason behind that. When I tell you that consciousness is an organic process mimetically driven or fueled, the vast majority of people aren't going to understand mimetics from even the basic Richard Dawkins perspective, let alone the way I've sort of modified it. For him, it was a unit of culture that replicates like a gene. A meme is a cultural gene. But for me, it is the thing we replicate in our minds, either to grow our consciousness or to stagnate our consciousness. Which means there had to have been a first meme somewhere in our history, in the history of this version of humanity on this planet, in this corner of this probably multiverse. This version of consciousness had a first meme. And the Christian history, well, it's not just Christian, the Old Testament history tells you exactly what that meme is. There was a garden. In that garden, the intelligence behind our creation or our existence in this form put a tree. That tree grew consciousness fruit. Said, don't touch it. But we touched it. Of course we touched it. We did it. We went, we took that fruit, whether we're tricked or not, whatever, doesn't matter. Took that fruit. The end result is we took it and we ate it and we introduced consciousness to us when we were not prepared or the fruit was not prepared yet. Either way, a very dipshit human way to do things. And now look at how this story goes, right? So here we are, Adam and Eve, whatever, they've eaten the fruit, they've got consciousness now. The very first meme in human history is, oh, I'm naked. That's the first one. That's where we started. Wherever we are now, if you think we're advanced or not, wherever we are now, it is a result of starting there. And look what happens. The intelligence behind our existence in this form is strolling through the garden. And what happens to him? Here we are. He recognizes exactly what's happened. Consciousness is a tool they've created. And here they are walking through the garden and find it yapping at them. Who the F told you you were naked? That shit was not ready yet. And then the world starts. History starts. Look, one of the reasons I'm doing this is because my whole life I've been around faith. I've lived in the Midwest of the United States. There is religion and faith and the Bible and everything everywhere. But I've never understood it. I've never understood that perspective. And now that, I don't know if you call it faith or conversion or whatever, now that I'm trying to be on that side, I look around at the world and the more I see, the more it doesn't make any sense. You guys have possibly the most persuasive argument in the world right now. Everybody that starts their history with the Garden of Eden has this incredible, powerful argument. But what have you done with it? Think of the meme, preaching to the choir. You are preaching, they are listening, they are absorbing, they are projecting into your words. There, you are preaching to the choir, and how many of those people in that choir are just praying for rapture? How many of you? That's what lack of attention to detail on my side has led to. It's so destructive. That feeling that this is a fallen world. There is nothing I can do because it's doomed already. That shit is bullshit. You're wrong. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're not. But I'll guarantee you that this is going to all fail if you just go about it that way. Why is it the side that should be with me, that should be, hey, we could fix this? Why do I have to get things from the people who don't believe, like the Church of Humanity Ascended? Humans are better than what they are. Humans are better than they are, so we should do that. That's not Christians saying that. That's not Muslims saying that. That's atheists saying that. When are you going to turn this around and start? What does it mean to be willingly ignorant? Look at the things we've used it to justify. And then if somebody comes along like I am right now, telling you we have all the data, we have all the technology, we have all the history, we have all the topographical knowledge, we have all the satellites we need to gain imagery down here. We have everything we need, including more than enough wealth to do it, to change this world to where you could make just even at the basics, like just how you'd have to like start this, is where food, housing, and electricity are completely effing free and far better than they are today. And it's not even that difficult. But there's this thing in our consciousness. I could not do this. I could easily just get on here and start talking about how we could change the world from the complete far left. I could do that. But why is it that's the only side fighting for this? Why do I have to join up with a far left view in order to fix the problem with the planet I fucking live on? Why is it not my side leading this charge? Is it simply that you've given up? That it's easier to say, I had to live in a fallen world. Jesus, take me now. Is it just so much more comfortable to view life that way? Because if intelligent design, if God, that means genes are his. That's a replicator, and how he fueled life on this planet is with genetics. He put in place consciousness. It may have happened a bit prematurely, but he's dealing with us, so is that really surprising? But has continued to grow our consciousness with a plan. How hard is it to understand that the two replicators we know of on this planet are easily defendable from a creationist perspective, but instead you're praying for rapture and voting the way you're voting? We have never had a better chance in all this. To fix this. You know why we failed in the Middle East? Because our dumbasses were trying to nation build when we don't even know how to nation build at home. Think about this. What mimetic path puts us in a position to lose pallets full of $100 bills? You know what mimetic path allows that, almost mandates that to happen? Is trickle-down thinking. If we put it in the hands of the warlords, it'll trickle down to the rest of the people. That shit has not worked here, and I'll give you sites from everything from oil production and capture, how it was used, lead. Oh, remember lead? How about Teflon? How'd that work out for you? Are there actually some like never gonna go away pollutants like everywhere on this fucking planet now because of non-stick pans? That's the model. That's trickle down. Of course we fucking failed. We can't build here properly. Of course we're gonna fail elsewhere. And we have absolutely everything we need to fix our country, which helps fix our planet. And we don't need to build a fucking wall in the South. We could fix the entire center of our continent so that the South, the border, here's been our approach so far. We flooded money and resources to the bad actors south of us. And then they fucked up their freaking world, probably because of this trickle-down theory again, too. I mean, put all the money in the hands of the big people, and it'll trickle down to the rest. How is that working out for you elsewhere? But now, it's so fucked up, our only solution is to fucking build a wall? I'm swearing a lot. I apologize. That's stupid. That is... It's not even stupid. It lacks compassion. It lacks empathy. It lacks morality. How else do you define evil? How else do you define entropic energy? That's a pretty good example of it. And why? What is the end result of that? Fixing our problems that way when we have caused problems like that throughout the world. Look, the next world leader is coming. Maybe it's us. Maybe. I mean, it wouldn't be a new world leader, but maybe it won't be us. But let me tell you what the next global order will do in order to be secure. They will have morals. God, please, I hope. The model we're building this world on now is unsustainable, and it's immoral. We know, we have the data. We know that there are countries in this world whose primary import is our garbage. It's immoral. And if our consciousness is created, if it is the second discovered replicator on our planet, understand that right now, the business model that has failed repeatedly and is continuing to fail currently, that is the model we're using to build the first synthetic replicator on this planet. Artificial intelligence. That's the model you're going with. We're going with. You remember we've told horror stories about that, right? And I'm not saying that AI is going to be a horror story. I'm saying that it's more likely to be a horror story if it's created the way we're going about it. What I'm saying is that this seems like a pretty obviously bad way to do it. But I have to prove that. And that's what I'm here to do. When I said long ago, I asked you, do you believe it's possible for the vast majority of humanity to completely miss the point? This is what I mean by that. This is part of what I mean. If you're on the atheist side of this, I know it feels like an attack because I am attacking something quite special to you. This billions of years evolution story. I think you need to realize that science as we know it today grew out of religion. And it didn't just grow out naturally like you would think from a plant or something. What happens was we explored and tried to understand this stuff, and we tried to fit a bunch of supernatural shit on top of it, like ethers and energies that are not detectable and probably don't exist. Until the smart people started to get annoyed with trying to factor all this crap in. And they said, you know what? To hell with this. We're going to break off and we're going to try to figure things out without any supernatural things being figured into our equation. And then after that, evolution is discovered. Evolution is the discovery of our first replicator. And somehow, the people on the faith side missed that point right there. They just let that one slide. And it turned into this religion of billions of years of straight up natural selection. I don't think science is religious. I think that there are things related to the theory of evolution that are religious. And if those are a cornerstone of your faith, you have religion. If those are the cornerstones of how you view the world, you have a religion. And I've seen you guys argue back and forth eloquently and insanely. Well, you both make the same arguments again and again. I get it, it feels like an attack. Really rational people don't get assaulted. They don't get attacked by ideas. If it feels like an attack, you might want to look for that faith somewhere in you, where it is that you have made your worldview and based it off of faith. It's not rational. It's not scientific to feel an attack from this. And if you have a philosopher inside you somewhere too, the point of this is to allow consciousness to grow. When I make a bold claim like we know all we need to know to build a world where housing and energy and food are just free, and we could live, even the richest of us could live better than they live now. That's an enormous claim. And your side on its own cannot get us there. No matter how many Star Treks you make or how many planetary societies you make, you can't get there unless you realize we have to build it. It's not just going to be delivered to you. We actually have to build it. And you know who's really good at building shit? We are. I'm really swearing a lot today. I wonder if I'll have to redo this because I don't really know what the terms are for this YouTube. Maybe I'll get banned. More likely, I mean, they tell me that if I want to become famous, I should make videos like every day and attach really angry stuff to it, and it'll get more views because people like angry stuff. I think we got enough of that. Maybe it'll go that way. If you're in a YouTube spiral and you found yourself looking at my face and I just swore at you for half an hour, reevaluate how you got here. Because if you're just looking to get angrier, that's not what I'm trying to do for you. Look, you guys have, as far as the faith side goes, you guys have one of the most beautiful arguments that is in existence right now. And I don't understand why you're not utilizing it. When I was thinking about making this video, see, one of the things about how I think is I have to worry about starting some kind of weird fucking religion. If this goes out there, If it's 100 years from when I made this video and you are out there watching my face and turning it into a religion, you've missed the point. It's a trap. Knowing that you know the truth is a trap. If there isn't a little bit of willingness to examine what you believe to be true, you are in a trap. Faith is beautiful, but faith projected into a trap, that's where the change needs to come. You can't build a new world like the old world is burning if you can't do it together. What you will get is what we have. Incredible ridiculousness from our leaders. Complete contempt for each other. That's contempt for each other, for people we disagree with, is not moral. It's not ethical. It's entropic energy. It's evil. By the side of faith's definition, it is evil. You can't build it without both sides. And it would help to have some leaders. It would help to have somebody with a little bit more ability to talk about it. And stay focused. Maybe be more proper about it. Less swearing. So yeah, all right. Probably devotion. I don't know if I'm solid on that yet. I haven't fully broken that down, but I bet you that's why all the bloody stuff. First meme was, ooh, I'm naked. First, imagine that. That is the first, I don't know if that's the picture, but that's the first, that's the origin point of our consciousness. In this form, on this planet, in this corner of probably a multiverse. What a story you guys have. I think it's just sad that so many of you are praying for we could be doing a lot more than that. And some of you are like paying televangelists to live in this reality, praying for rapture. That's a trap. I need to be able to show that in order for us to fix this stupid world we built for ourselves. All right. Thanks for your time.